Hi everyone, how's it going? This is Renan, and in this video I'm going to teach you about dictionaries. And no, I'm not talking about the book, I'm talking about the data type in Python. So a dictionary is a collection of key value pairs, and you can think of it as a real dictionary where you would look up a word to find the definition of that word. But in here we would look up a key so that we can find the value associated to that key. I'll give you an example. Let's suppose that we have a user and we want to store some information related to that user, and for that we will create a dictionary. To create a dictionary, you open and close the curly braces, and here you can type your key value pairs. So first let's start with the key, and my user will have a name, and then I can type colon and the value associated to that key. In this case it will be Renan. To add new key value pairs to my dictionary, I can just type a comma in here, and for example I could have an age as well. In this case it will be a number. I could have a gender. In this case it will be male. And in here I have my dictionary. Some things that we have to bear in mind in here is that for the key of the dictionary, in this case it's a string, but it could be a number, it could be a boolean, for example. The only restriction is that the data type that we use as the key, it should be immutable, so it could not be a list, a dictionary, or a set where you can add more data to it. So we have this restriction, all right? As for the value, there is no restriction. So we could have a listing here, so that's possible. I could have another dictionary in here. So there's no restriction as for the value for a dictionary, all right? So now I'll print here the dictionary that we have. Let's save it, let's run it. As you can see in here, we have a dictionary. And now I'm going to teach you some methods associated to this dictionary that we can use to our benefit. And the first thing that we want to do is to retrieve some information related to that dictionary. So for example, let's suppose that I want to retrieve the value associated to the name. We have a couple of ways to do that. So the first way that I will show you, it's using the square brackets notation. So we can open and close square brackets in here, and then I can type the name of the key that I want. And if I save this and if I run it, as you see, it returned the value associated to that key. It's important to bear in mind in here that if you type a key that does not exist in my dictionary, it will return an error. So now we have a key error because that key does not exist in my dictionary. And there is other way in which we can retrieve information from a dictionary that it will be a little different of this. So we can use the get method, and then in here we can type the key of that we want as well. So as you can see, it retrieved Renan. And now if I type a key that does not exist here, it will not throw an error, it will return none. So this can be useful in some use cases that you don't want an error to be thrown. All right, and there is also a way for you to type the full value in here. So for example, instead of none, if you want to return a string, you can do that as well. So when a key is not found, you can return not found. So that's possible with the method get. All right. So this is it about returning information from a dictionary. Now let's see a little bit about adding information and updating information from a dictionary. So just like retrieving information, there are a couple of ways of doing that. So for example, if I want to change the name in my dictionary, I can do that using the square brackets notation as well. So I can type in here the name, and then I can type another value for it. So Carlos, I'll save this, and as you can see, now the value was updated. And one thing that's important to bear in mind in here is that the dictionary cannot have duplicates as the keys, as right. So as you can see, I am typing here name and I am associating a value to it, and it's not adding another key name with another name associated. It's just replacing the original value. So every time that you do this, you will be updating a value in case the name does not exist. But in case this was a key that does not exist, you will be adding a new value to a dictionary. So for example, if I do this, now my dictionary has a new key, X and Y. All right, so this is it about updating and adding new information with the square brackets notation. And we have another way of doing that. And it's using the update method from the dictionary. So in here, we can pass the key value pairs that we want to update. So for example, I could pass in here the name, and the new value would be Carlos. So now we will update the dictionary. Oops, this does not return anything. Sorry, so I should have typed this here and then like so. And when I run now, as you can see, the dictionary was updated as we wanted. And the same way, if I type in here a key that does not exist, the same thing will happen. So we will add a new key value pair to our dictionary. So now we have a new key value pair. So you can do that with the update method as well. And you might be thinking, when would I use the square brackets notation and when would I use the update method in this case? So if you are going to update only one key value pair, you can just use the square brackets notation, that's fine. But if you are going to update several key value pairs at the same time, then you can use the update method, because in here you can type several keys at the same time, and then you can update all of them at once. All right, so you can do a book update with these methods here, whereas in the square brackets notation you can only update one key value pair at a time. All right, so that's the difference. So let's delete this here. And now I'm going to teach you how to delete a keyword from a dictionary. And as usual, we have more than one way of doing that. So the first way that we have is by using the del keyword, and then you type the dictionary and the key that you want to remove. And if I save this and if I run this code, as you can see, we no longer have the name key value pair. And in here it's important to note that if you type a key that does not exist, it will throw an error as well. So as you can see, there's no key X. And another way that we have to delete a key value pair is by using the pop method, which will receive the key that we want to remove. In this case, let's remove the name and let's run this code. And one thing that we have about this pop method is that it will return the value that you are deleting. So in this case, let's have a variable called name. And if I print name in here, as you can see, it's returning the value that was removed, and my dictionary no longer has a name key value pair. All right, everyone. And just as the del keyword, if I type here a key that does not exist, it will throw an error because that key is not available in my dictionary. But with the pop method, you can pass a default value in here. So for example, I can type in here key not found. It will no longer throw an error, and it will return key not found when that key is not available in my dictionary. And as you can see, my dictionary is just as it was before. All right, so this is the pop method in Python. So let's delete this here. And another method that we have to delete a key value pair from a dictionary is the clear method. So the clear method will actually delete your dictionary as a whole. So it will be an empty dictionary now. So this is how you can clear your dictionary as well. And those are the delete methods. So let's delete this here. And now everyone, I'll show you some ways in which you can return some important information about your dictionary. So we have the keys method, which will return all the keys from your dictionary as a list. So as you can see, we have the keys from your dictionary in here. And if you want to loop through those keys, you can as well. So you can loop like for key in user.keys and print key. And if I and if I delete this here, save and run this. As you can see, we have every key from a dictionary, and by default, when you are looping a dictionary, you don't actually need to do this here, because by default it will use the keys to be looped. All right, so just like this is fine as well. And another method that we have is the values. So let's print here again the user dot values, and this will return a list of the values that you have in your dictionary. And if we use the values in here, as you can see, now we are looping through the values. And another method that we have is the items, and the items will return the key and the value in that dictionary. So we have a list of tuples, and in each tuple we have the key and the value that we have. All right, so we can perform a loop on that as well. And now we can have the key and the value in here because it's a tuple. All right, so in here we can print the value as well. So those are the ways that we can loop through a dictionary, all right, with the key, the values, and the items methods. And that's it, everyone. So if you like this video, don't forget to leave your like below so that you will help the channel grow in the future, and subscribe to the channel so that you'll be notified when we post new videos, all right? And I see you in the next one.